Hi everyone, it's me again, Kissy. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to do another reading for the collective. Um, so it seems like there's a certain energy, very pushy energy. I'm getting Mars energy. Now I haven't really looked at the chart to really sit with the chart because every so often it only makes it more convoluted to kind of see the energies, experience the energies, and then reading about the energies kind of it feels like you're being influenced, and first you must make sense of it for yourself before you try to get the clue points, right, that tell you, okay, this is accurate, or this is correct, or this is what it is. So you want to kind of like trust yourself to come up with a, I guess you could say, a hypothesis, maybe, or maybe a conclusion, or like kind of get a well-rounded understanding of what it is that you're picking up on. Put a name to it, put a scenario to it, put a question mark behind it to the universe, like make your question. But before you can make that question to the universe, you must first get a grip of what the energy is. So anyway, the energy is kind of conflicting with, I'm getting like nature versus nurture. Either acting on nature or acting on what you nurture. And sometimes what we nurture goes against what our nature is. And that could be the conflict. I'm feeling like the conflict could be like, it's in your nature to be X, Y, or Z. However that is. But if you've experienced being in those natures has not provided good results for you, has not yielded positive results for you, has kind of 9 out of 10 times made you feel like you've crashed and burned, then the likelihood of doing that again is going to be slim to none. And sometimes we have to go through like that kind of vibe more than once, either with in the same scenario, same individual, until we can conclude it with that individual or that situation. But it doesn't mean that you're done with the experience, like you've cleansed yourself of the experience, so to speak, like you've cleared a certain energy that isn't resonating with you, or an energy that's just like, that's not who, you know. So, for example, with Mars energy, a feminine Mars energy, which I am, we can be very go-getters and aggressive, or direct, very masculine qualities, right? And in some realms that can work for us, that can benefit us, that can get us things that we want, but also it can, if it's something we really want to preserve and nurture and protect and treat with, a certain kind of sacredism, whatever the word, then you may not use those same methods or apply those same rules or move in those same directions, simply because the short-term gains versus the long-term results that don't work in your benefit in the long term. So it's like, why invest in a thing that's only a short-term gain when what you're wanting is a long-term result. So if you're recognizing or learning that there's a natural instinct in you to go about something that is a short-term gain, and you know you can, if you really want that, for the short term, but it will not transmit into long term, because that is taking actions from that space will only guarantee the short term results. And the short term results might work in a different scenario with different people in a different space, but in where you're going, where you want to be, where the space you want to be in requires letting go of certain ways, nature, that open you up to be nurtured, or that open up and allow what you choose to nurture, which is the new vision, the new earth, the new reality, the new manifestation, the new way of how you expect or want to be treated, the new way in how you expect or want to be seen, the new way in how you expect or want to be known or experienced, based on your own inner work, based on your own inner knowing, or transmutation, changes, shifts that create a new you, a new version of yourself, not the same way that you used to be. So for some, there may be this inclination to want to act out in a pattern that has proven to not serve, that has proven to not benefit, that has proven to not grow, that has proven to not sustain a shifting that requires that you want, and for the long term, not the short term. So it's like you want the long term contentment, happiness, security, feeling that it is long lasting, versus just a short term experience that, yes, it might be very, enjoyable or prove to be beneficial in the moment, is not necessarily going to be long lasting. It's short term gains. And so if you want long term people, you don't take actions that you take with short term people. You don't do things with long term people that you would do with short term people. If that makes any sense. It's like we're in a place right now in society, I would assume, or I would say, with online, it's easy for us to meet a plethora of individuals, to engage with anyone we want at any given time. But it's like certain things, if it's just to do what? Just to conversate, or just to stay in some kind of like limbo land, it's not necessary to engage on things that have proven to only remain stagnant. So I think that going into a certain reality where there is sustainability, where there is reciprocity, where there is authentic, real, tangible results, day-to-day building of connections, I think that is the tried and true way of living reality that benefits in the long term. Some might argue that and say no, the long term is not to be chained into the physical reality, right? By having connections that bind you, and having titles that identify you as whatever you identify with. But to have a spiritual expansion, you have to have an earthbound experience. And that's the blessing, I guess, or the grace of life and the grace of spirit to give us a world where we're free to explore dynamics, we're free to explore new ways of looking at the world, of experiencing the world, of showing up to the world, and explore those things. But nobody's actually taking advantage. If nobody believes they can, or are even putting themselves in those shoes. And by nobody, I mean the old way of society being. Like the people that you may have associated with in the past that were in your physical day-to-day life, that were your social circles, that were your jobs, that were the places that you know, when you were part of a society before isolation, before secluding yourself, before being separated from others for the most part, before being so independent that you become very comfortable without interacting with money for the most part. But before that took place, that world was overbearing, or that world felt overwhelming, or that world felt very heavy or dense or convoluted, or requiring space from the collective. And then when you do that and you cultivate your own sense of self, and slowly but surely you integrate yourself with the whole. You can integrate with the whole without becoming absorbed by everyone, energetically speaking. You can maintain your own independence. You can maintain how penetrable your energetic field is when you're amongst others, or when you engage with others. But wait, there's more. There's something else. So wanting to kind of be in a space where you engage with someone that may have made you feel overwhelmed might be a fear that's unfounded, because who you were in the past and who you are now is not the same. How you respond to the energy fields do not affect you in the same way, and you're not coming from the same space. So be willing to revisit those things that are question marks for you, those individuals that are question marks for you. Be open to revisit and go deeper into understanding where there isn't a flow. And because if you're wanting it to flow and it's not flowing, what's the problem? If you need it to flow and it's not flowing, then you can definitely look at yourself and then say, okay, I need this to flow because of some dependency that I have, that this has to work for me. But that might have to be a whole other conversation. But ultimately, it's a feeling of taking action and a resistance to taking that action out of admittingly a fear that and that's why they say the danger of knowing. When you say, I know how they're going to act, I know what they're going to say, I know what they're going to do, you already limited what should be anew to this is how it's always been, this is how it always will be, kind of thing. It doesn't give the benefit of the doubt for people to change, grow, be something different. It's like, if you've really changed, then if they are not improved or changed or better, if the dynamic isn't on their end improved, then it shouldn't affect you if you've improved how you respond to that. If you've worked on yourself and your triggers and what makes you feel I guess triggered, if anything, yeah. But anyway, so in other words, if you're good, you could put yourself to the test. Of course I'm good. Of course I've changed, but I think the thing is taking actions like these, just repeating a karmic energy, repeating a mistake, acting on, or is this just the opportunity to do it different? Are the opportunities gonna, as they come around, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, until it becomes something that you just do differently one day, and one day a different result happens, no matter what the outcome. Whether it's the outcome you want to occur or the outcome you expected or feared or really didn't want to be, becomes, even if it is that, it'll still be a different outcome, because it'll have a conclusive answer. Like it won't be something that has to be cycled back to figure out, is this what this is, or is this not what this is this growing or not? I don't know. So it kind of gives that vibe. So whether or not to take action, I feel like right now there's a stability despite an environment going through changes. And emotionally, there is an intention to take action out of instinct even. So we're talking about nature here, our natures. But we have to be willing to let go of analyzing or making rules about when it comes to our feelings, even feelings that to us might be taboo or that we hide because we feel that they're damaged or some way not working, or some feelings that are like maybe too dark to deal with, or too painful, too hurtful. I feel like there's a lesson that's going to be learned if we decide to convey what we're thinking to someone that may not be to see eye to eye with us. We have a Libra, a Sagittarius, and a Scorpio here. So that covers the whole fall season. Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. I just heard triad also. But that could just be a separate message. I feel like there is a completion in a sacred relationship that wasn't consummated, but has been completed. It is balanced, and it is clear that it is a bond, a commitment that works even for partnerships that are challenging and that require certain kind of balance when it comes to acting from our instincts. I feel like what needed to be learned about the dark side of this Aries energy has already been seen in the environment and has already been I guess I don't want to say it's not hidden. It's like the communication has been I don't know if it's repressed or suppressed or withheld. The communication has been withheld. Someone that isn't necessarily in charge of a partnership is leading someone into like is leading them into their shadow self. There's a Gemini here that's committed, or that a Gemini that's hidden in some kind of exchange with a Leo. This Leo feels alone emotionally with this Gemini person, only because their environment, there's like a mother figure involved, or there's a lack of spiritual connection. Like they're not part of the same group. They come from like different lineages, spiritual lineages. And they don't share the same dreams or values or even creative interests. It's like they have two different social circles. I don't know what that's about, but that's what came through. Any final messages for us? Any final messages in regards to this? We have a Taurus and a Scorpio kind of going, the Taurus is showing up in reverse, the Scorpio is upright, but in between them is this lounge. They're competing for a position, but it's almost like coming head to head, and there's like this it's like a lesson that's going to be completed. All right, so it seems that the Scorpio individual has a small circle that they communicate with, while this Taurus in reverse communicates negatively. But they show up like they're in balance. And the Scorpio is showing up as if they are like you don't really know what the environment is that they're in, because everything that they're doing is kind of staying very reserved, very conservative, very hidden, very mysterious, typical Scorpio energy. Underneath the lounge, we have Miss Scarlet, the Aries energy. It's like they're fighting for who's I don't know, the most independent, the most individualistic. Are they fighting for to be number one? Number one in what? I don't know if this is philosophy, religion, teaching, I think there's going to be an additional member added to a group. Whoever whoever can lead without controlling, emotional manipulation, I guess you could say, outside of the environment that it's in, is going to be it's going to be considered the one that gets to go home with the prize, or get the job, or get the home, or get, Lord have mercy, get the commitment. So that's what came through for now, guys. I'll come back with another message soon. Take care.